I doubt the Americans will accept Harry as a leader, and he definitely isn't a hero. It's laughable that he is a British prince who has spent his whole life living an extremely privileged lifestyle trying to convince people he just like them and understands their struggles. Harry hasn't even had the decency to become an American citizen and revoke all his titles and succession rights. It's insulting to America that he is living in their country and has an American daughter and is employed in America but still clinging to his British royal titles. Prince Harry is said to have put the finishing touches on his memoir, with royal watchers eagerly awaiting the wholly truthful account of his life. The Duke of Sussex's memoir was announced back in July last year, and its release is expected to fall around the festive season. With the content of the book largely unknown, there has been mass speculation surrounding what Harry might say. Many have predicted the book may reveal insight into his life within the House of Windsor and could address the reported rift between the Sussexes and the royal family. But one royal commentator has claimed the prince will use his memoir to rewrite his story in a bid to be seen as a leader in the United States. We know his story, we felt for him, that's why those who saw red flags spoke up. Nothing to do with race, just character based on evidence and logic. He took the rap sometimes for William Whoopie-doo, as the spare his life was amazing with some duty here and there. Charles is a narcissist, and although H may think he's broken the genetic chain of pain, he's only created a new one by marrying a narcissist. Feeling burnt out Harry? Feeling isolated and trapped? Thriving? He looks ill. Has anyone asked if you were okay? Kinsey Schofield, the founder of TodayForDaily.com and author of the upcoming book, R is for Revenge Dress, told Express.co.uk, "What I think he's trying to do is brand himself as a Mark Zuckerberg, Barack Obama, some guy that can get $100,000 for a speech in Miami to a bunch of rich dudes. I think he is trying to brand himself as a leader in the United States and will use his book to try to do that. He wanted to try to rewrite his story and to be this phoenix rising from the ashes. That is the route I think he is going to go." When it emerged that the Duke of Sussex was penning a memoir, many feared that certain members of the royal family would be on the receiving end of an attack. Prince Charles, Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, and Prince William were pointed out as potential fatalities. "I am laughing so hard I am crying. Rising like a phoenix to become a U.S. leader. Yeah, okay. Not many people even know who the two of them are. The only reason they get attention is because of his comically oversized security detail. Sunshine and scabies are working overtime for the overlord." Harry went from the most liked royal to the least liked in record time. Not exactly rising like the Phoenix but rather sinking like the Titanic. It correlates to the palace no longer covering for him and creating the persona. Look how once the facade mask fell off, how perceptions changed. However, Ms. Schofield argued that Harry is unlikely to use the book to criticize his family, suggesting he may discuss the death of his mother, but will not write anything that could destroy the House of Windsor. She said, "I think Harry is going to try to tell a story about a young man who overcomes adversity. That's truly what I think this is going to be. He is going to discuss the death of his mother, I believe, and he's going to talk about how that affected him as a young adult, and how he turned that emotion into the leader he is today." She continued, "Now, will his publisher allow people like us to discuss what horrible things he might mention in his book? Absolutely, because they want it to sell. They want those pre-orders to go out the roof. But I don't think that it is in Prince Harry's DNA to write something salacious that could destroy his family because, at the end of the day, his children could benefit from that relationship, from anything that is good that is happening to the royal family, his children could benefit from. I don't think Prince Harry is going to burn the whole place down with this book. I think he is going to use this book to elevate himself. Since Harry and his wife Meghan Markle left the firm, they have been working to establish their careers outside of the firm. I have heard it all. Kinsey, not in his DNA to be salacious. Have you been on a secluded island for the past 3+ years with no media? Harry is the definition of the word. And as for rising from the ashes, the only ashes he will be rising from is the huge fireplace in his mansion after cleaning it out. Kinsey must be in the same club as Sophie. I love a good comedy. After Harry's numerous insults to the American public, I very much doubt that he's any hope of being placed in any position of leadership within the USA, apart from performing as a sideshow for entertainment and bald curiosity, much like an act in Barnum Bailey's circus. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex set up their own non-profit organization Archewell, signed multi-million-pound deals with streaming giants, and pursued more philanthropic and humanitarian ventures. While they are yet to release content with Netflix and have only one podcast episode on Spotify, the couple's humanitarian efforts have been recognized. It was recently revealed that Archewell is to receive the Gong from the Human First Coalition for its work advocating for Afghan refugees. The organization points out that Archewell had offered generous financial support for at-risk Afghans as well as military veterans who served in Afghanistan. The awards ceremony will take place in New York City on Monday, the year anniversary of the Taliban takeover of the country. However, Harry and Meghan won't be there to receive the award. Instead, Executive Director of the Archewell Foundation James Holt will accept the honor. Harry spent 10 years in the British Army and completed 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan. He later set up the Invictus Games, a sporting event for veterans and sick, injured, or wounded servicemen and women, and at the time of the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan last year, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex issued a statement commenting on how exceptionally fragile the world is. In the statement, which was published on the Archewell website, the couple wrote, "The world is exceptionally fragile right now. As we all feel the many layers of pain due to the situation in Afghanistan, we are left speechless." It continued, "When any person or community suffers, a piece of each of us does so with them, whether we realize it or not. And though we are not meant to live in a state of suffering, we, as a people, are being conditioned to accept it. It's easy to find ourselves feeling powerless, but we can put our values into action, together." That woman is making a laughingstock of Harry and he is allowing that to happen. She wants him to look ridiculous, pushing him to do this ridiculous UN speech to an empty, almost room. She and their incendiary PR team hatch and plot his demise, with doughboy Harry being molded to whatever shape they require. Geez. You could not make this up, it is beyond farcical. Yay Harry, we all know how that rewriting your history is going. I was trapped within the royal family and I didn't know it. Until Meghan told me I was trapped. Folks, all you need to know about the, apparently most anticipated book of our times. Meghan is dictating it. Harry a U.S. leader? Ridiculous. Titles are not allowed according to their constitution and he's a prince by birthright. That cannot be removed. Sadly, he just echoes the utterances of others. He has neither life experiences nor expertise in any specific domain, so how can he lead? I don't think he could be described as a leader. He used to be very popular. People liked him because he seemed relatable. He was one of the lads. In the last 5 years, he has morphed into a dreary, pessimistic, hypocritical bore, churning out meaningless word salads, hardly leadership material. The truth of everything is that he is finished in America along with the UK. No one wants to know him or his wife. They are actually just a constant pain in the backside and need to totally disappear, praying. Harry does not have the equivalent of a high school diploma in the U.S., despite having attended elite schools. He had to leave the army because his lack of education meant he could not progress any further in rank. He has no real job skills and the only thing he can do without help is drone on about his poor dead mother.